Hi, Noah. What a marvelous name. My name is Dr. Reall One Family, and I'm calling you because I am literally trying to save the world. And I am a direct descendant, verifiably, of rather famous people, including but not limited to Kasturba Kapadia Gandhi and Mohandas Gandhi, and Mariam of Magdala, and Mariam of Nazareth, and Jesus of Nazareth, and the ancient Atlantis civilization, later on called the Minoan civilization, which was egalitarian, not patriarchal. I know you are. And in fact, I had Reverend Bill Davis and Danny Sheehan stayed over at my home when they were working on the Karen Silkwood case. Now, I'm calling you today because I'm about to do a broadcast on the internet. And in fact, I am already broadcasting right now. People probably heard that. I'm going to put on mute for a minute. We are just beginning our court proceedings on the ultimate hearing, that is the choice of parity or patriarchy for our times and this moment in our times on this planet and all our future in the universe. We know that a lot of people are not very well educated with regard to the issue of parity and patriarchy, because since our institutions tend to be patriarchal without reference to the fact that they are, and it is sort of a figure ground problem, you can't really see that they're not something other than patriarchal because you're surrounded by patriarchal. You cannot know that there are other places outside of where we are at that are not patriarchal, that are egalitarian, that are friendlier to women, that are friendlier to children, that are friendly to non-dominator people, that are friendly to minorities. And that there have been in the past such places too, and the most well-known one was Atlantis. Ancient Atlantis that survived for about 2,500 years with no war, virtually no income inequity, and yet a very high standard of living for all of its family, communities, and citizens. We want you all to enjoy Atlantis risen on this and all the planets of Earth and Earths. We have formed the New Millennial Co-Federation based on the New Millennial Golden Rule, which is law. I tell you, I am the Paraclete, and it is the law of the planet Earth, with or without your agreement, with or without your acknowledgement. It is the law. It is God's given law, and I have given it. Now, I don't need to tell you that the people around you are not following that law. They're following patriarchal law because they're following the dictates of patriarchal social psychology and anthropology, which predisposes them to a hierarchy between the genders so that the older men rule over the women and also over most of the rest of the men, including the younger men. That is patriarchy. And that is also war, worry, waste, and now complete waste of a planet if we keep going the way we're doing. Waste of you, waste of me, waste of everybody you ever knew, waste of everything you ever knew that ever happened is going to waste now. Unless we change. Now, I just made a couple of telephone calls because we're going to start our hearings, remembering that I am speaking to you from North America. And North America was not originally inhabited primarily by European and other continental emigres. It was for a long time originally inhabited by Native Americans. There were many millions more, probably hundreds of millions more Native Americans in the past before the Europeans came to this continent, and hundreds of millions of Native Americans were attrited due to disease and stress, and in too many cases, violent aggression against them by the so-called Christians of Europe. We are living in a time where Mother Nature, Mother Earth, is at risk. The quality of our air, our water, and our land is being assaulted. We have a huge methane cloud over Los Angeles, another huge methane cloud over New England. We have many stockpiles of nuclear waste. We have recently had major oil spills. And I'm sure you know the temperature is a little bit higher for early spring than normal because we have global warming, because we are not using an earth-friendly choice of energy. And why are we not? Because the people who are most in favor of using solar and renewable energy are not those holding office, according to the tale told to you by the media. The media tells you who is holding office, and you think the media knows, so you accept their telling. The fact is that Goddess God holds office on every planet, and you are supposed to be a representative of Goddess God in the way you go about life. So we are having a hearing about whether or not you are acting as a representative of Goddess God, or whether you are representing about 2 inches beyond your nose and nothing more. And how you can switch quickly to being an apotheosis, risen representative of the Mother, Father, Goddess, God, of the New Millennial Co-Federation of Earth and Planets, and that this is the first court proceedings of that co-federation. This is a highest court, and I am representing you all right now because I don't have yet my assembled co-evidence witnesses, and I don't yet have my co-jurors. Because I will not try to make this decision for you. I will want you to make this decision as to whether or not you want parity or patriarchy. And if you don't show, you will obviously be choosing patriarchy because that is what we have, and it will just continue along its own trajectory of destruction, and that is what you will have. However, I am choosing parity for you, and I have more power than you do. Why do I have more power than you do? Because I am trying to convey the will of the Mother, Father, Goddess, God, and you are not working too hard at that. So I have a little bit more sway, and it's on your behalf, I guarantee you. I am acting as your intercessor because you are standing before the precipice. And Goddess God is almost ready to completely condemn this planet to a series of horrors and then extinction. So I am here representing you. I am not the devil's advocate. I am the earth angel's advocate. I am all the earth's angels' advocates. I am the angel of every earth in the Milky Way. I am representing them all, and they may be listening, because I am also, through my genealogically inheritance, directly related to the family that came up with the very visionary concept of Ellie Arroway, the heroine of the film and book Contact. And I am Ellie's circle Arroway, because I know that we need to gather in circles for reparative, restorative processes, healing and restorative and reparative to our culture and to ourselves and to our families and to our communities. And so that's what this is. And I am calling jurors. I have been calling people to assemble with me for some time. Not enough know about it yet. I'm still working on getting out some of these summonses, although many have gone out. Some have gone out. So hopefully within the next day or 2 or 3, even more of them will go out, and you will be hearing from me. Now let's see if we can reach one of our witnesses. If not, I will start calling them by phone of people who I can reach. Hi, Amy. My name is Dr. Rajel One Family. I spoke with you a week or two ago.
Phone is cutting out.
Can you hear me?
I can now. That's better.
Okay. Amy, you are there in Coos Bay in our current arrangement of courts here in North America. And I am calling you because I am literally acting on behalf of the Mother Earth and all her children, including you, to try to prevent a series of cataclysms on this planet. If you go to our website, it's 5050now.wordpress.com, and you'll see that I have an unusual family genealogical inheritance connecting all of the major faiths of humanity, as well as going back much earlier to a time called Atlantis, or the Minoan civilization it was called later. It was based on the Isle of Crete, and it was a very large, successful, peace culture. And they were egalitarian, not patriarchal. In other words, the women ruled equally with the men in Atlantis. And the reason I'm calling you is I'm calling you on behalf of two women who are from Coos Bay, and were seen by Paula Bechtold, and later on her order given to see a mediator. The mediator was mediating the situation in which they were living in a trailer park, and the trailer park management was threatening them with eviction. The mediator on the case decided that they should not be evicted, and they were given a series of tasks to do to clean up a little bit of the garden debris that they had around their trailer, and they were supposed to be maintained in the trailer park. But something different than that happened. The management did evict them without knowledge of your court. And for about a year, they have been living in very inappropriate circumstances. Now, these two women are Native American and European mixture. And they, at my encouragement, began to call themselves white-calf buffalo women. You may not be familiar with that term, but most Native Americans are. It is the Native American Messiah. Right now, the women are struggling with a situation in which they have makeshift home arrangements and less than optimal. Also, the stress has been very great on both of them. One of them is 82 and the other one is 67. The 67-year-old recently won a series of awards for her citizenship in Coos Bay. This is not the kind of person that should be evicted from anywhere. So I'm calling you because I am broadcasting, and I want to say this is part of a large hearing I am holding in which we as a public decide whether we want parity, partnership culture of the genders, or we want patriarchy, in which women are subservient and older men rule, and women and younger people and minorities are lesser. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, I'm wondering if you have a question for me, because you don't have anything I can respond to at this point.
Well, you are responding. You are responding right now, and people are hearing you. Now, you are defined in your system as a function. Your function is to serve as a secretary and receptionist and a message conveyor to Paula. Our system of justice in North America, in many places, is on a top-down model. That is one of the features of the... Are you there? Did you hang up? She hung up. I want you to hear that. That's part of our evidence. This is the way functionaries in an authoritarian society function. You might not know that the authorities in the authoritarian societies not always do not know what's going on, because once they have trained their functionaries to function as functionaries, a lot of information never gets up to the people who are in the hierarchical position. They don't even know what's going on because their functionaries are trained not to tell them. So you just heard that. That's part of my evidence. That is a court system in a well-known area of our planet. A place that is famous for a book being written there called Planethood, and is also written by Ken Keyes, and I forget the other gentleman's name, about the notion that we are one planet, that we are not one nation, that we are one planet. But on this one planet, you just heard what happened. Let's see if I call her back, what Amy will do. Now, Amy is not to blame. Amy is doing what she has been taught to do in our social structure. So let's see what she will do.
You have reached Amy in Judge Bechtold's office. If you've reached this recording during office hours, I'm either away from my desk or on another call. Please leave a detailed message and I will return your call as soon as possible. If you have reached this recording after office hours, please call back during our regular business hours, which are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are closed each day from noon to 1.
Hi, Amy. This is Dr. Rajal One Family. Our website is at 5050now.wordpress.com, and if you look at the About section, there is an email address and also a telephone number, and you can call that number. I heard what your recording just said, that you are not allowed to make long-distance telephone calls. Now, that is the kind of thing that shows a failure in our court systems already. Obviously, this is a contiguous landmass called Earth, and sometimes some of the people that you are attempting to serve have friends, family, and sometimes possibly even legal assistance that may be at a distance from you, and so it is an indicator of how little resources you're being given and how you are.
You have exceeded the recording limit. To review this message, press 6. To discard your message and re-record it, press 4. To send your message, press 5. Thank you. Your message has been sent.
You have reached Amy in Judge Bechtold's office. If you've reached this recording during office hours, I'm either away from my desk or on another call. Please leave a detailed message and I will return your call as soon as possible. If you have reached this recording
Amy, so I would ask you to please call me at the number that's on the website, and I'll also give you my home number. Let me put this I would like, again, now I am broadcasting again, Amy. Your name, Amy, I don't know if you know the derivation, you probably do, means friend. And there's a wonderful line in the Dances with Wolves, in which one of the Native Americans says to the European heritage man, I have been and always will be your friend. That's also a line from he says, do you know that I am your friend? And it's also a line in Star Trek that the logical and more advanced civilization representative, a man by the name Spock, says to the slightly more primitive human beings, do you know that I have been and always will be your friend? Well, I am, as you can see from the 5050now website, I am everyone's ultimate friend. I am here to save the planet Earth. I am the predicted paraclete. I am late in coming because I myself was so deeply embedded in patriarchy that I did not know my family genealogy, and although I was always a very good person, I was a family therapist for many, many years. I have a PhD from Loyola University and did a great deal of work on behalf of families and children. But I did not know until more recently the full breadth of my genealogy. Now I know fully. My purpose is to deliver new law. The new law is available at the website. It's at 5050now.wordpress.com. It is called the New Millennial Golden Rule. It has three major components that are conceptual in terms of the way our society is organized. It is basically love thy neighbor as thyself, female and male, equally, democracy, divine democracy based in the neighborhood. You will read it and you will understand that it can transform our world quickly and bring better justice to all the people, not only these two women, and their names are Ma Patricia Sunflowers and Anna Marie singing cricket, but also to you and to your children and to your children's children and to all of your heritage, and even looking back in time, which I will explain to you, your female and all your ancestry, and those of Paula also, and all of the women and all the people you've ever known. This is true transitional transformation that I am offering you. So I do want to hear from you, and I'll put it on mute again and give you my home phone number. I so look forward to you talking with you and Paula. Please give me a call urgently. These two women, these white calf buffalo women, have been through enough, and all Native American women have been through enough, and all the Native American people of this land have been through enough.
To leave a number where you can be reached, press 8. Enter the callback telephone number. The number you entered was correct. Press 1. To review this message, press 6. To discard your message and re-record it, press 4. To send your message, press 5. Thank you. Your message has been sent. Enter the extension number of the person you want.
All right. Now that should make some systemic difference to Mother, Father, Goddess, God. Let me get back on the phone line. in case you want to call in. Okay, now we have called one of the court arenas where there is a case involving humanity's inhumanity to human beings, particularly to women. And one of the things that we are alleging here in our case, one of our primary matters that we wish to try before you, is whether any court system can function properly if the laws are not made by equal numbers of females and represent the people of the jurisdiction in all of their rainbow glory, and also whether the courts also require parity. The numbers of females has to be at least equal to those of males, and again reflect the rainbow composition of the area in which the cases or the instances of situations that need conflict resolution are being heard. The New Millennial Golden Rule allows for court systems in every neighborhood. Your neighbors are your jurors. Your neighbors are your lawyers. Your neighbors are your plaintiffs, and your neighbors are your defendants. And it is not a strange thing to think of a person being both a defendant and a plaintiff because of the nature of the complexity of interactive error. In a sense, all people who are in an error culture are both plaintiffs and defendants before Mother, Father, Goddess, God. I am defending you. I am trying to defend myself because I made great and serious errors living within patriarchy and continue to do so. But I know that this is the matter. One of the things that I think is the greatest error is the failure of women to talk with one another about the lack of representation for them that is going on in North America. The fact that women are failing to talk about that suggests that women are profoundly scarred on this subject, and the scar is so painful that they are having trouble talking about it. And they are now so adjusted to being harmed that they simply accept being harmed. And they teach that to their children, and they teach their children to accept being harmed by older men. Whether it be a doctor, a priest, a congressman, a lawyer, or any manner of so-called authority, where the laws being adhered to were not created by both females and males in equal number. The mothers are ill in North America and in much of the world. They are teaching their children to obey authority that has no representation of either the people in the area or, in fact, Mother, Father, Goddess, God. And of course, that is the theological aspect of this situation. Many people, but not by no means the majority on earth, a large many billions, have been raised to believe that God is Father only. A slightly larger number of people also many billions, regard God as both mother and father, or goddess God. You may find that you fall into one of these categories and the other category seems abhorrent to you. And you might be among those who are willing to kill people for thinking differently than you do about that matter. I say it's a lot better to have a court case about it and discuss the evidence as to which view of our Creator is correct. And how we should relate to one another as all children of that creatrix, creator. That yin and yang mystery that we call the deity process. Because the deity is obviously not some guy over there, not some fella over there, not some lady over there. Not that simple, because the process is complete and ever present and in all creation. So we have to look a little bit more sophisticatedly at this as to where is Goddess God and how do we reflect Goddess God's will. So that is what we are doing today. Now, we tried reaching our two main principals, Anna Marie singing cricket and Ma Patricia Sunflowers by phone, and both times got an answering machine. So I was not able to reach them today, but I believe they know that I am doing this. And I am doing it not just on their behalf. There are, in North America alone, there are likely right now maybe somewhere between several 100,000 and 1 million or so people in their same situation, having been evicted, sometimes having been evicted illegitimately, even against a court order, and scrounging around for footing in a society that is mostly very individualistic and not very cohesive with regard to people who are having any kind of a problem. And so I can tell you, Anna Marie is one of the smartest people I know. She's read all the books of one of our family cousins who's most famous, the husband of Lynn Alexander Margulies Sagan, Carl Alexander Sagan. I don't know many people who've read everything he's written. She has. And she and I discussed the likelihood that the souls of ancestry are on another planet or other planets. That is the essential main theme of the book and film Contact. I believe we are being listened to. And I will now show that we are gathering at a particular place for this hearing. This place. Now, I don't think this is the exact apartment building. The place that this was is a reasonable facsimile of, was an apartment building and is currently a lot in a neighborhood that is awaiting purposeful use. It is an empty, so-called empty lot. It probably has grass and flowers growing on it, but it is often called an empty lot. And in a neighborhood where our great-grandmothers, Ray, and we are here having her visited and accompanied to live with her, her sister Clara, her daughter as Sarah Harriet, her other daughter Jacqueline, who is Sarah Harriet's little sister, and a neighbor who lived within walking distance, who was also our father's mother, Rose, and also the mother of the father of this family who passed away during the Depression, Antoinette. And we also have included a grandmother of now one of the family members who is descended directly from Ray and Sarah Harriet, because through marriage is connected to this great-grandmother, and was a contemporary of Lynn Margulies, the mother of the Gaia effect, who later, as a young adult, she married Carl Alexander Sagan, the Stargate guy, and also she then later married into Ray's family, the Margulian family. Again, she married into the Margulies family. She was originally an Alexander, and she married into the Margulies family. And that family, the man she married into, was a specialist in crystals, a crystallographer. That family also had to do with science, and the two most important functions for crystals in our world are computer connection and solar panels. On a very practical level, there may be some other more esoteric and spiritual aspects of crystals. New Age people like crystals. But on a very practical level, the New Age is made up of computer crystals. That is silicon crystals, the most common element of sand. And so are solar panels. The most transformational potential coming from the most simple and common element on Earth, silicon, sand. You are like that grain of sand. You have a universe, as the poet says, in a grain of sand. A universe in every flower, a universe in every grain of sand. When you gather, you bring together the gifts of the facets of your crystal, your gem. When you don't gather, the light is diminished. We are living in a time of North America of very little gathering. People are very individualistic. They don't host a place for people to gather on any regular basis. And their gatherings, if they do occur, are often within the hierarchical context of patriarchy. So that's why we are offering these broadcasts to you and these hearings to you. So I'm going to let you think about that. That's our introduction to our hearings. I'm going to call another court also, because this one also issued court orders toward me. And I want to make sure that they know that we have been doing this. I have no fear. I don't care if these people send somebody after me, or because I know that the moment they do that, there will be cataclysms on this planet, and I've already predicted that. So I will warn them. And as those cataclysms begin, I'll say, you better let me out, because you just read my website and you'll understand you don't want to fuss with me. Or you won't have a planet. Because I'm saving the planet. And I'm saving my family, and I'm saving the people that I love and all the people I've ever known. I think I'll call another one of the judges in Oregon too while we're at it. And then I'll move on to the other case, which is my case, which is in Illinois. And we may be able to find one in New York. That's my plan. I want to find a case in New York.
sorry I missed your call. Please leave a message and I'll call you back as soon as I can. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dr. Rajel One Family. I've just left a message with the team of Judge of Paula Bechtold, and I'm also calling Patricia Davis Gibson, who I think I spoke with a few weeks ago. My name is Dr. Rajel One Family, and our website is at 5050now.wordpress.com. I addressed with Amy, Paula's colleague, that there are two women of Native American European mixture heritage who have described themselves as white calf buffalo women, in that they have co-delivered with me and other people the new millennial golden rule, which is new law, it's prophesied law. I am a direct descendant of Miriam of Magdala and Jesus of Nazareth and Miriam of Nazareth's families, and also I'm also connected to every other major religion faith on the planet. I am directly a descendant of Rachel, the mother of Israel. I'm also very clearly a descendant of Isabella and Sigismund of the Unitarians in Romania and Transylvania. I'm also a direct descendant of the Baha'i. I'm also a direct descendant of Hinduism. I am a Kazina of Kasturba Kapadia Gandhi, the wife of Mohandas Gandhi. And so on and so on. You can read about me on the website. And I have a PhD from Loyola University in Family and Community Systems. I did not know my family genealogy until most recent years. Now that I know what my family genealogy is, I believe I am equipped to provide the new law to make our planet work for everyone on it and who has ever lived upon it. I'm also directly related to the most famous geobiologist in the world that has ever lived, Lynn Margulies, who, like I am, was from Chicago, and her first husband, who is the famed astronomer, Carl Alexander Sagan, Carl Sagan, the author of Cosmos and Contact. And I have described myself in the words of another theologian who was preaching at Mundelein School while I was right next door at Loyola, that I am the cosmic Christ, or very simply put, I am a transitional evolutionary figure to bring humanity into a more risen condition. And I also like to call myself, according to the terms of science fiction, I call myself an equinox true Q. I'm a planet saver, I'm a soul saver, and I'm a very simple person.
Sorry, only 15 seconds left to finish this recording.
And my job is to make everyone else that too. So I want you to know we're broadcasting this, and I will connect with you again about this. You can call me. You have my number already, I think, and I'll give it to you again. It's
To simply leave your message, press 1. Otherwise, to hear it, press 2. To re-record the message, press 3. If you need something else, press 0. To send the message with the options currently selected, press 1. To change the priority settings, press 2. Urgent. To send the message with the options currently selected, press 1. To change the priority settings, message sent. Thanks for the message.
okay. Now let's call another court. Well, let's call the third justice here, and then we'll call the other courts.
2. To disconnect, not here right now, so leave us a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Bye.
Hi, I'm trying to reach Vicky as a person who's involved in the justice arena in Coos Bay. My name is Dr. Rajel One Family, and I'm calling on behalf of two women who are both Native American and European in heritage, Ma Patricia Sunflowers and Anna Marie Singing Cricket. They have had an encounter of the not exactly best kind, as most people do feel about our current justice system. And I want to refer you to our website, 5050now.wordpress.com. I am what you might call the predicted paraclete, biblically. I am verifiably a direct descendant of the Magdalene and Nazarene families. I have a PhD from Loyola University in Family and Community Systems. I believe that Native Americans, and particularly Native American women, deserve particular honoration in our culture and should not be put under duress by our justice system. And I would like to talk with you about this as soon as possible. Just give me a call. I assume that your message machine picks up the phone number. I'll give it to you again right now. I'm not sure if you're still recording. I can't tell if your machine ran out of tape. I think it ran out. Okay. Well, I'm assuming that she'll be able to trace that.
Sustainability Coordinator for Lake County. I'm not able to take your call right now. Please leave a message and I'll return your call as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hi, Casey. My name is Dr. Rajel One Family. I'm calling you because I assume you have some say-so in the situation of your court, and you have connections with people in the court community there in Lake County. If you go to our website, 5050now.wordpress.com, you will see that I have delivered new law for the world. You will see that I have an unusual family genealogy inheritance that connects me with every major faith on earth and also connects me to the first families of science fiction and science, actually both. And particularly through the maternal lines and branches of the family. And I am, you might say, the earth angel defending Mother Nature. I'm calling you because I have delivered new law for all the courts of the world. And they require gender parity on the bench and a focus on love thy neighborhood that goes beyond what we are typically used to in our Western culture. And you can read about it at 5050now.wordpress.com. I'm originally from Illinois and was working very affirmatively for the transition to solar energy. And also you'll see on the website a section called the Solar Marshall Plan. I want to say, and I'm broadcasting this so other people can hear on a video chat, and other people do watch and see these. About 200,000 people have seen them, a little bit over. That there is no court functioning without gender parity on the bench and in the legislatures that make the laws. That kind of approach that we have that has women in a lesser number than parity anywhere on earth is against the will of the mother, father, goddess, God. In other words, against the will of the creator of the universe. I am directly connected to the family by genealogy of Magdala and the Magdalene and the Nazarene families. And I am encouraging other members of my family community, many who are. There are many people who are, but I happen to know my genealogy very, very well. And to do what I am doing, to deliver the new millennial golden rule and become what I call an evolutionary step for humanity, an equinox true Q. That is a person who is concerned with equality and quality of life, and also is a savior of the planet. You can read about this at 5050now.wordpress.com. I'm asking you particularly to communicate this to all of the women judges first of the court. Then we will get, I will call you again and communicate it to all, and not just the judges, just let me correct that, to all of the women working at the court. Certainly the judges, but don't necessarily start with the judges. I would suggest that you start with the paralegals, with the court reporters, with the librarians, and then the judges. And make sure you do that. Because if you do not, it is my belief that Illinois, which sits on the New Madrid Fault, may have a major earthquake. Because some of the problems that have arisen with regard to people knowing that, for example, all of the courts of the Nordic countries and France and many other countries in Europe have 50% women on the bench. The reason this is not known is our media has been fallen under extreme patriarchal condition. And the media boardrooms are so corrupt that they have deliberately kept from North American women that if they lived under the law that billions of other women live under, and the men too, they would have gender parity in their courts. So our media is so corrupt. I suggest that you have one major criminal in Illinois, and it is the media. They are not necessarily based in Illinois, but some of them are, and they all have offices in Illinois. And if I would suggest what you should put first on all the dockets in order to avoid an earthquake in Illinois, is that all of the courts and all of the lawyers and all the people affiliated with the court systems have to understand that they've been lied to by the media. And there is a criminal roaming about this part of the world, and it is the media. And it's a very big criminal, bigger than Joseph Goebbels, bigger than Pravda propaganda during the Joseph Stalin era, because by withholding this information, they have perpetuated global warming. And they have also put us unnecessarily on the dependence of plutonium producing waste produce, and instead of transitioning quickly to solar, which could have been done, but is obviously less profitable for those who are used to keeping profits to themselves. And so you must know, you probably know, that Germany is 50% solar, that they have a woman chancellor and about 40% female legislature in Germany. Similar situations are in all of the Nordic countries and other countries of our world, and they all have higher percentage of application of solar energy. So I would like to speak with you about this, and you can give me a call, and please communicate this to everyone at the court. I have family who practice at the court. Many family, my own, as many other slightly more distant family. I would like to discuss this with you on all of their behalf as an act of highest spiritual service. And you can read about this at 5050now.wordpress.com on the area called the Ultimate Hearing.
Press 5. For urgent delivery, press 7. To leave a message priority is urgent. To review this message, press 6. To discard your message and re-record it, press 4. To send your message, press 5.
And again, I emphasize to her, she's a sustainability coordinator for the government that involves the courts there, that had involvement with me and my own family. This is how patriarchy is interactive, and it regards our attitude toward nature and the universe also, the universal forces of nature. Those who do not respect women as equals do not realize that they have to have enormous gratitude toward nature for their very existence. And they shouldn't be exposing people to dangerous technologies when better technologies, less pollutive of nature, are available. So we left the warning of the potential of a nuclear disaster just based on human factors interacting with the potential of an earthquake there. And with this court system, and I referred her to the website that discusses my own family's case toward me, and how this is all reflective of embedded patriarchy. All of this is embedded patriarchy. Once you decide to go with the new millennial golden rule as your new law, all the risks disappear. And you have heavens on earth. So that's going to be our first presentation, and we're going to make some regular outreach calls, and those are that you might call our opening evidence. And we have another court system that we plan to contact near New York, near the Indian Point reactor. But those are our beginnings. We started with Coos Bay, the Heartland, Illinois, and we'll be doing the core system. And we will be coming into our family process as it affected this. That's our most important area. Frankly, that's where the real intensity of patriarchy is, because patriarchy occurs in the family most profoundly. It is where women do dumb themselves down in order to get along with the thump, thump, thump old daddy. It is where women betray one another. It is where women pressure their children to suppress aspects of their true thoughts and feelings in order to get along with powerful daddy figures. It is where patriarchy is most intense. But its ripple effects mean injustice for everyone in the society, and now mean potential destruction of this planet. So we have to focus on this with all courage. I feel like a mother lying down in front of a Mack truck to prevent the truck from rolling on her babies. Patriarchy is rolling over you, but you can pull out of it rather easily. Just look at the 11 steps under the New Millennial Golden Rule, the 11 steps, and you can pull out of patriarchy without much noise. The patriarchs don't even hardly have to know it. Just pull out. Practice the New Millennial Golden Rule via the 11 steps, and you're home free. And your planet will become a heaven on earth, and heavens on earths. So that's our broadcast for the moment. I'll let you look at me for a second, see who's been talking to you. I am the co-savior, the first but not last or only, cosmic Christ, but not only. I'm not alone. I am calling forth other people who I regard as equally and in many unique ways more qualified than I am. I'm simply the first. I'm the evolutionary step. I'm the Ellie. You will follow me, and you will do even better than me. All of you will do with me. We will work at it together. And then we will discover that what we can do individually by ourselves is not as great as what we can do together. So, the light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers. And that is our broadcast. And of course, we'll hold up the milk. We'll hold up the milk. We drink the milk of human kindness, of course, for all, both in each and every one as soon as possible. We'll go through the longer version of that on our major ceremony, which we'll do in another broadcast. And we did earlier today. And we'll also hold up the water of enlightened, loving, living planets that will reclaim and sustain our planet Earth to be past, present, future. Okay, and we'll hold up the cakes. These are for all of you, and you know who you are. I want you as co-jurors, co-witnesses. Come, come, come. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And we'll just go back on mute. Okay, here we go. There we are. All right. Sorry for the slightly disrupted visuals and lots of off time on the audio. We were making some outreach calls. We are trying to mobilize many more potentially very excellent Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Saviorage to come and be part of this process in a circle interaction. And we're going to continue to work on that until we achieve it. I'm going to achieve that. I hope I can do that for us, because the parity issue in itself, in a nutshell, is a resurrection for women. But there's a process level of resurrection for women also, which has to do with the ability to maintain a circle, to work as a team, to cooperate and have mutual esteem. That is very difficult for North American women now. They're having a lot of trouble doing that. It is tragic to watch such intelligent women having so much trouble talking with each other. And it's tragic for their children that they are having that kind of difficulty. The fact that men, adult men, either don't notice that or are willing to take advantage of it for their own egoistic preoccupations is the reason why this society is ready almost to go over a complete cliff into a paroxysm of cataclysmic events. Guys, you need to wake up. You know why women follow Bernie Sanders? Because they have low self-esteem. Do you know why they follow Marco Rubio or Donald Trump? Because they have low self-esteem. And do you know why they think more highly of Hillary than yet she can yet get them to think of her? Because they don't understand the difference between tokenism and parity. Because they've been dumbed down to not know the difference. And it's confused them and it's paralyzed them. You're dealing with crippled human beings. Now, if you think you can run an advanced society on crippled human beings, I have news for you. You cannot. And you're going to have a Fukushima. Guess what is the truth of the women of Japan? They're hobbled. They're crippled. That's why there was a Fukushima in Japan. That's why they're continually being hit with those earthquakes. Because their women are materially well off, but psychologically depriving themselves. And the men are so hubris-ridden, they don't even notice it. It will get worse, and you will have a Fukushima here. More than one. If you don't achieve parity instead of patriarchy. And you can do that retroactively via the New Millennial Golden Rule within a few weeks. I am the paraclete. I am light resin, and that's why you're having so much trouble. And I apologize for that. I was always a very good person, but did not know my genealogy, so I couldn't know my full mission. I know it now. I want to save you. You're not saving. God helps you. Stop screwing each other up with patriarchy. Wake up. Look to Sweden. Look to the Nordic countries. Look to Rwanda that learned the lesson from genocide. They have parity. You can have it wherever you are, in every neighborhood on, love thy neighborhood on earth. All the villages of India have it. That's something like 500 million people. Why don't you? You shall have it, if I have anything to do with it, and I will save this planet, and God as God will protect us all, and we will not fall into the cataclysms. I love you all. forsake ye not my, our, your new millennial golden rule.